Welcome to the Improve and Have Fun podcast. My name is Paul V. Perez, and on this podcast, I work on improving myself while having fun along the way with the hopes of encouraging you to do the same. And I do so by documenting my life and interests. And on this episode, I'm going to be interviewing another dancer-choreographer, and that is Pyrotech Unruly of the Pyrotech Dancers, based out of the Bronx, New York. Some of the, I would say, sharpest dancers and the NYC dancehall scene right now. Another dancer I've been wanting to talk to for a while, but what struck me on this particular interview is how honest he was about what's going on in his life, and we get a window into that in this episode. I'm going to leave all of his contact details in the show notes for this episode, also ways to support this podcast, because this podcast is not free to do, and any support in terms of notes of appreciation, i.e. dollars, is always appreciated, and that's going to be, links for all that stuff is going to be in the mystical, magical, unicorn-like show notes. So once again, let's go ahead and get into this episode. Thoughts, comments, you can do so on the blog at improveandhavefun.com. Let's do this. I'm here with Pyrotech Unruly, someone I wanted to talk to for a while, someone I've known for a long time, actually. I've seen dancing in so many parties. And how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, boss. You?
I'm good. We're here on a Wednesday on a hump day here in Times Square at Ripley's. Mm-hmm. And I do have questions. I got my notebook. I did a little bit of research, i.e. I looked at your IG page, you know what I mean? That's what that is. And let me bring that up here. But what's going on with you? Like, what's been on your mind? Or what you got cooking today? Because you were busy. You told me you got here late and you had things. What's going on with you?
Today I have a rehearsal with a friend, and I'm trying to shoot a quick video with another friend that I have, so just regular video stuff.
Yeah. That's cool, yeah. All right, bro, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. So the first time I ever seen you was like at a backyard party, like in the Bronx. It was in the Bronx or Mount Vernon, but you were with your previous first group, I'm assuming, which you can please educate me. The Veda Dancers.
Divine
Sorry. Divine Dancers. I think. Oh, your name was Devetta.
Yeah, it went from Divine, Devetta, and now where I'm at now.
Okay. So, first of all, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Jamaica, Constant Spring in Kingston.
Born there? Born here?
Born here.
Okay.
Born there, sorry.
Born there, born in Constant Spring. And what age did you come over?
Came here when I was 5.
Okay.
So for me, I was here legally. And after I got my stuff, that's when I was able to like go back down a lot more. So I was always like around, like around the culture. And I kind of realized that my spirit and just the way I was, I never really gravitated much to, like, I don't want to say American, but just like the kids that were around me, I'm more quickly gravitated to Caribbeans and that type of thing. So I stayed around that my whole like early years until I was like really able to go home a lot more. And then after I started partying and stuff, that's when I think it was basically the street.
Like where you grew up at, is it the same area where you live in now?
Yeah.
And you, like that area is a lot of like Jamaicans, a lot of Caribbean folks.
It's really mini Jamaica. I say it's like Brooklyn. Brooklyn is more, there's more of a variety of Caribbean. So you have your Trini, your Bajans, but up there in the Bronx, it's literally Jamaica. Like it's mostly Jamaica.
And which area we're talking about in the Bronx?
Like uptown Bronx.
Yeah. So, White Plains Road, Boston.
White Plains Road is like half a tree in like Kingston. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
I used to, when I first started to get just like into DJing at home, nothing serious. Like I would go to Moody's, and I mean we've been to so many. You more than me, of course. Been to so many parties in that area. And go to Moody's and buy records, and that's cool. That's cool, definitely.
Yeah, back in the days.
Yeah. I don't even know Moody's. I doubt Moody's is even there anymore. Yeah. But and what is it that got you into dancing? Like why dancing? And like at what age did this kind of start bubbling out?
I kind of was always dancing when I was younger. Again, being around like the culture and just being in around that setting. I always had cousins that danced, like older cousins, and there was people that came around the house often. Videos, I still kept up with the music, so it's like I was always in it, and then when I got the chance to go back home now, I party with my cousins more.
And what age was that?
Oh, this was like 14.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't get to go home for a while, but about like 14.
Were your cousins older, or are they your same age?
Older.
So they were like into the dance and they like dancing and stuff?
Yeah. So they would just take me to the parties. They weren't like dancers, but they danced enough to want to go to parties and bring me along because I wouldn't stay in the house.
Yeah.
So that's where I
and also that planted the seed in you.
Exactly.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Exactly. And at that age, when I was young, I loved to sing. So singing was actually one of the first thing I loved to get. Ah. So I used to like enter competitions. That was actually like the thing for me.
Yeah.
So
this is before 14, or this is during 14?
Before 14. This is like 7, 8, 9,
wow.
10. You know,
so you had a little bit of a performer in you since a kid.
Yeah. So I think that's why dancing resonates with me so much, is because music in general just resonates with me. So
yeah. Are you still into singing? I'm not talking about only in the shower. I'm talking about in general.
That's only in the shower. That's a whole, like Caribbean parents, sometimes they don't believe in like investing in talent. So for them, it's like if you have it, like go work, but
yeah, they're all about like getting a job, because like supporting dreams is just more like, I came to this country, I just want to reach. Exactly. I want to, because I'm as well a child of Caribbean parents, and I just kind of like come to this country to work hard, and this is like their immigrant kind of mentality, not like maybe somebody who's been here a few generations or a generation be like, let me push this kid, like kind of like Amanda, right? Amanda, who her mom like takes her to all these things.
Perfect example.
It's like I wonder, this is going to be like a wonderkind, like when she turns 14, 15, like you dance, you swim, you do this and that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of went south.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that resentment I started building up towards it is like I put that into it.
Really?
Yeah, because I deeply loved it.
Yeah. Well, my friend, like I'll say, I'm in my 40s now, and I'm rediscovering things I loved as a kid, so do not be surprised. As you get older, you'll go back and rediscover that again. I'm telling you, we're talking today, February the 19th, 2020. I'm telling you, it wouldn't surprise me if I see you on your IG, like, I'm starting to sing, and I'm going to competitions, and it wouldn't surprise me, honestly, like, because it just brings you, like, there's a reason why you loved it as a kid. Yeah. Like, I know dancing brings you happiness, absolutely, Yeah. That's cool, dude. That's cool. And so, would you say that your cousins were the biggest influence on you starting to dance?
Yeah, being around that kind of environment, relatives, cousins, yeah.
That's cool. Like I said, my questions are going to be kind of all over the place. But so when did you link up with the Divine Dancers? And so this is 14. You're starting to dance. You're starting to really. Well, this is cool. Like when did you link up with Divine? And are the Divine members? I know them by face. I don't know them by name. Yeah. But they all kind of lived in the same neighborhood, kind of.
So I actually met them from my church.
Okay, cool. I like the story is getting more and more interesting.
So a lot of people. I actually met them from my church, and one guy, he was actually born in Jamaica. At the time I met him, he was like 3 years in, so he had just moved here. Cool. As well, he had loved dancing from when he was younger, was in like a whole crew back in Jamaica.
And you guys are all in the same age group, kind of?
Yeah.
And what is this age?
So I'm 24 now. Two of them are 25, and the other guy's 24. Yeah, so same age. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, you were saying that. So he came like he was like he was still fresh, like
yeah. So
and he loved
we
dancing.
Instantly clicked, and the other two, one of them I knew. I went to that church for a long time, so I knew one of them for years, and he danced, but he did like more light feet, like get light stuff like that. Yeah, which I kind of liked when I was younger too. I liked than that. And the other guy.
No, you mean something more like hip hop dance?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like hip hop. Hip hop was more like light feet specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And the other guy, he was somebody that just hanged out with us, and I guess we just influenced him because his parents were Caribbean, so we ended up influencing him that he liked to dance, but he wasn't like really a dancer much when he was younger. So, young kids, bored, having fun, so started going to parties, and you know how that goes. You start like dancing, or I want to become a crew, so you start practicing at home, all this stuff. So that's kind of how that all started.
That's cool. And that lasted for a while.
Yeah, and then, you know, as you get older, life responsibilities, people's priorities, interests change. So
of course,
I was the one that was like always the most passionate within the group. So I actually met another guy who was from Jamaica as well. He's from Ochi. He was a little younger, like 2-3 years younger than me, and he was also in the Bronx, like dancing. He never went to much parties, but
what's his name?
His name was Jinxing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not like here. People really don't know because he wasn't much of. He never went to the parties, whatever. So he was just somebody who loved to dance, and I could see the dedication. And he had we spoke like that same dedication talk, whatever. So rather than like dropping my team totally, he was already cool with the rest of my guys. So we kind of like. His team was Vendetta, my team was Divine, so we made like Divetta. So that's how Divetta was created.
Okay.
So it was a way to like, you know, not throw everything away, but I had somebody who I could...
Keep some things, just evolve it.
Exactly, so. And again, it went through that stage. His mother wasn't really supportive. She was like, this is foolishness, nothing stable, whatever. And he stopped, and I was still with Prince. So Prince, even in my group that I'm in now, Pyrotech. Me and him were dancing.
And he was from that other group.
Yeah. So me and him were dancing for a while, and we had gotten to like, because of personal reasons, we kind of like fell out a little bit as friends.
That happens.
And I actually went to school with a guy named Bling.
I would tell you, he was a former podcast guest.
Exactly.
He's been on the podcast before, absolutely.
So he was...
you talking about Bling Hefe or Bling Evo?
Yeah.
Same, okay.
So I went to school with him.
Now this is college now, this is college. Because I got the story from his end, but I want to hear it, of course, from your end of how, that Pyrotech came about.
So yeah, we started going to school together, didn't even know it, and he wasn't somebody that I like was really too into because of like early dance stuff, like the streets, you know, like that ego, whatever. So,
and he had been, like you, had been dancing for some time until like you guys just crossed paths, which is incredible. You know what I mean?
So
it's like meant to be kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So you let bygones be bygones, and as you get older, you gain a sense of maturity that you forget what the hell like. It's like you're meeting the person again for the first time and actually getting to know them. So
when you actually sit and speak with someone. You know, everybody has the same concerns. They have the same things that they want to do. Not the same things, but I'm just saying, people they want to do well in life. They want to take care of their family. They want to take care of themselves. They want to succeed. You know. Yeah.
So he loved to dance, but his kind of went through the same thing where his team.
Yeah, there was up and down.
So he was actually about to like stop.
Wow.
Really, but I kind of gave him back that
the fire.
Yeah. So,
which is apropos, right? Like Pyrotech, Pyro, giving the fire back. So
that's how that whole thing started. And
how did the name come about?
It was actually, I think he was in a science class, and one of his professors like kept saying pyro, like something like pyro, and. We had like a group chat, and he was saying it that day. I'm like, oh, this sounds super cool. Because at that time, we kind of like stuck with our like old team names, like we were, so the whole time like saying pyro, and then we looked it up. It's like Greek for fire. I'm like, okay, it sounds cool, So every time like we make little slangs, like we say something like, "Yo, fully pyro," but we just made it was.
Which you use in class, because I've taken your classes before. Exactly. You say it and people follow along, which is good. Like you say it like to kind of focus people's attention.
Exactly.
Pay attention.
So that's where it came from. So we had a manager, and he'd always, when he would like see us dance, or he was like, "Yo, you guys are so precise with every little detail. Like it's so technical." I'm like, So that's where like the whole text came. So he sees him like text. Like, it was just because we were always focused, and like we'd always make sure that we knew everything that we were doing, or whatever. So
that's cool. Yeah.
He was always like text. So one day it was like Pyrotech, and we liked how it sounded. So we kind of ran with that. I ended up fixing and mending my relationship with Prince, and dedication was
which is fantastic because like. your crew, for me, in our small community, because it's funny, because like, you know, we just run into each other so often in parties or in classes and stuff like that, or in the street. And for me, right now, like your crew is the like guy crew that's like making it happen. Like to me, these are the crews, but I don't too much go really much into Queens or in the Bronx like I used to. But I mean, in terms of visually and like seeing around, you guys are the number one right now for me. I'm not blowing smoke. I'm not hating. I'm just stating. And what you guys do, it's happened at several parties. Like when I was younger and I would go to, like I said, to all the way to the boonies to go party. Like when I would see people like Water Boots or Bird Hype or Ground Zero, they get like this competitive juices flowing in me. Like I'm actually still alive, you know what I'm saying? I like blow the dust off it, you know what I mean? But your crew does that for me, and that's a compliment, you know? I mean, I didn't, like you said, that ego thing, especially when you're younger, is so massive, you know? And I sometimes, even from like now, and I'm like totally, I'm in my 40s, I still suffer from that sometimes. But like I said, once you get to the bare bones of it, at the end of the day, everybody, we're all poor folks, and we all just want to kind of make something happen, and we are, you know, to some extent, we are making things happen, and you guys 100% bring a little bit of fire in me, where sometimes I want to like battle, which I am not a battle dancer, but I guess it's a compliment. It's a compliment, like, you know. But what I'm basically, that long-winded thing I'm trying to say to you is that I think that you guys are like the best right now in terms of crew-wise, are some of the best, and also like you're so strong individually. So, you know, imagine like when you get this murderer's row. I don't mean that in a negative way, but like you and Prince, Andy, I don't know so much, right? But he's a beast as well. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you, Prince, Bling, together, this is like, my goodness, look at these guys, you know what I'm saying? Like individually, they're beasts. It's like Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm sorry. Continue, please. You know, what I wanted to ask you, actually, you're welcome. What I want, I'm just staying in my lane, bro, you know what I mean? Like, what I wanted to ask you, at what age did you want to, like, do this, like, all the time? Because, like, is the thing, like, oh, I do this, you know, on the weekends with my friends, and then there's a, like, I want to do this and try to get paid. Or, like, did you run into somebody that kind of put the bug in your brain about it?
I think that came with, for me, that was college. So what had happened was that when I was younger, I've been this, like, super nerd because I was always, like, pushed back home. It was school, get the best grades, like 98 was the 2 points type of thing.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So school honestly never challenged me when I was younger. So I never learned the meaning of hard work through school. And when I got to college, it came back to haunt me because when I was in high school, I never learned hard work, like I said, so I always got mediocre grades, meaning like I always stayed in like that 88, 89 kind of average.
That's still fantastic. That's not super bad.
But the thing about that is people, like, you know, like you said, you think that's like pretty good, but the thing about it is that
your parents really pressured you, it sounds like.
Yeah, but because of the college that I wanted to go to, because one, I was in an honors program, and
that's fantastic.
The people who like know like the honors program, it's all they do is like if you're not going to like Harvard or some top college, you're basically like you're considered a joke. Like, you know, people look at you bad. That's how it kind of works. So there, it's not go to a 2-year community, save your money, then go to a 4-year. You know, like it's not about getting like staying debt free. It's you need to go to a big name college or else like.
And what was the field you wanted to go into?
I wanted to be a chemical engineer.
Wow.
So I got into a college called Manhattan College. It was in Riverdale.
Cool.
This is like,
I used to live by there, actually.
Exactly.
I used to live by
so it was like a $60,000 school.
Wow. Per semester or per the year?
For the year.
Wow, but that's a salary.
Exactly. So because my guidance counselors at the time were telling me like, yo, if you don't go away for college, it's like you're going into the 13th grade. So it's like, by car, legit, I live 10 minutes away from there. But because of this, I want to get out of my parents' house and not, like, or grow up. I stayed on campus, which cost even more money. So because of this grade thing, like I said, I wasn't at the top to get in those 98s, 99s. So merit scholarships, I wasn't eligible for. Because it's super competitive when you get to that level. Yeah. So I couldn't get that, and there's a program here in New York. It's called HEOP. Basically, what all it is, it's a program where for people who low-income families, they say that because you were from a low-income family, you couldn't get the grades that you could have gotten because of your circumstances. So with that program, there's also a grade requirement for that. There's like a grade ceiling.
It's a lot of hoops you gotta jump through.
Exactly,
right?
but it's look at the system. Now, somebody who had like a 79 average, who was a low-income family, could get through with a full scholarship through this HEOP program. And so you had that program, and then you had the scholarship. So you had like a dead zone. There's like a dead zone right there, and I fell into that. So because of that, now I had to take out loans. But I had to take out so much loans that public loans wasn't even enough. So I had to take out private loans as well.
Wow.
So as of right now, I'm in crazy debt right now. Most people, I don't talk about this with most people.
No, that's all right.
You know,
That's all right.
but
I promise you that everything that you're talking about now, like there's somebody going through this
Yeah,
who's gonna listen
exactly.
to it and gonna be like, I see him all the time on Instagram, and he is so incredibly talented, and you know, I feel like
More
even more
connected,
connected to you now because like you're going through it. Like, I'm going through the same thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was in college, and it's like I came to the realization, because when I would have work on weekends, I'm partying crazy on the weekends, and I'm like,
Was that like a stress relief, or was that?
it was a stress reliever, because I'm like, the
Okay,
college
that's-
that I went, the college that I
that's
went to is
concern.
it's so not what I'm used to, because that's like
You feel like you were less than
yeah, it's
because
like
you're not
stuck
going
up
to what you were
white.
shooting for.
Yeah, but even the what did I say, the demographics of the college is like stuck up rich white kids, you know, like Caucasian kids.
So
All
you
it
are
is-
going to Manhattan College
No,
right now?
no.
Okay.
I
So where did you end up going?
I
I mean, in
Left.
terms of the story, in terms of because
Yeah.
right now you're painting like this is a movie in my mind.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. So,
like
long
okay,
story.
so right now, what school did you end up going to? What college did you end up going to?
I went to Manhattan, stopped after 2 years, went to Westchester Community,
Okay.
stopped that because that was crazy far. So I went to Hostos after that, because I'm like, you know, I don't even care about this big name college bullshit.
You just want to get your certification so you can get your.
You can weed it out. So I went there, but when I was there, that's when we started doing like classes and all that stuff, and
You started teaching? Or-
yeah. So when I started like really being honest with myself, it was like what I'm going to college for. I had a real passion for chemistry, but it wasn't something like it wasn't a burning desire, and I didn't have something bigger than me that was leading that passion for me.
Like
with
something to look
chemistry.
up to, like somebody you know, like look
was
where I'm
money.
at. Like you could come and be over here with me.
It was money that was leading that, because chemical engineering was like the
6 figures. That sounds like. I'm just
Exactly.
saying, yeah.
So
I don't know, but 6 figures.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it sounds.
It was like the highest paid engineering out of like just graduating in 4 years. So
It sounds
undergrad
dangerous.
4,
I'll be honest. It sounds dangerous.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So that was what was driving me, and I kind of had to just look at myself and like, you're skipping homework time to dance. Like, you're doing all of this to dance. So be honest with yourself. Like, this isn't what's driving you. And
It's a very adult thing.
That's
It's a very adult decision. Like a lot of people will be like, no, you know what I mean? But you're like, dude, this is what I'm loving. You know what I'm saying? This is what's
Exactly.
calling me. You know?
So, yeah, I made an adult decision, but now with adult decisions, as an adult, you have to live with the actions that you.
Absolutely.
So, because I took out those loans now, you know how loans work. If you're in school, you don't have to pay, but once you get out, you have to start paying. So,
And if you don't pay, they will jack your paycheck. Because that's actually it happened to my younger brother. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they will like. It's like if you don't pay child support, like
Exactly.
they will start to.
Exactly.
What's that? I'm trying to find the word. They will basically
Take money like
out of your check.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a tax, basically, which is fucking crazy.
So all of that, I got out. I had to start paying, and there was a reluctancy within me to get a job, because I'd kind of gotten used to the life of working when I wanted to. At that time, I was doing security, but I'd stopped it because I felt like it was hindering. I couldn't spend as much time as I wanted to dance, and then like I just felt like I was lowering my IQ, like.
Oh yeah. Like,
IQ wise, I was smarter than being a security
Oh
guard,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I
So-
mean, you sound incredibly intelligent from what you're telling me. Like, and it just kind of like I'm slowly dying here.
Or it was literally like being tortured. Like I was getting beat every day, like mentally. So I like brushed that aside. But the real struggle came when was the fact that I didn't want to work, but at the same time I had to start paying my loans,
and I mean just paying bills. Like how are you like living?
I started putting a real burden on my parents because I started getting real selfish because when I had just stepped out of the work zone completely and now building up as a dancer, but especially for the genre that we do, now you have to make a name for yourself. So money isn't going to come in as frequently. It's not going to come in consistently, you know. So there was months where like, bro, I'd literally make like, if I'd said like $50 for like 4 months, that was good. Wow. You know, like it was a really, really, really dark time for me. Really
dude, I love your honesty because I promise you that what you're talking about is going to completely help someone. Yeah. And so I love your honesty right now.
I was flat out broke, but I was dancing like every day. I'm hopping subways every day.
Wow.
You know, like trying to build until, you know, like little by little, the name got up, the name got out. I started being able to travel a little more, and it was up and down, you know. But the thing about it again was that I was being selfish because the months where I wasn't making anything, I wouldn't realize that my parents was paying that, and they were paying a hefty amount. Like,
and they took care of you. They held you down. Wow, God bless them. God bless them. Yeah,
you know, so now
some good parents there, dude.
So now I'm at the point where, you know, after my last tour, I just came back from. Before I went there, the day before my birthday, they came into my room and we had like a whole conversation, and it got heated because they were basically like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing? You know, like for a year in Breeze, like, what are you doing with your life? You know?" And they were getting frustrated having to pay this because they have their own dreams and their own little goals.
Yeah, they're people too. They want to do their thing too. Yeah.
So it hit me to the point where I started. I honestly was like bawling in my house because how they were speaking to me was kind of like I was worthless and I was like a cruff or something. So at that moment,
they're expressing their concerns. Yeah. So they're not like being the bad guys, but you're not the bad guy either. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
And through these years, I always like resented them because I didn't get that moral support and that genuine support I thought I wanted and needed. But taking myself out of it and realizing that I was financially dependent on them, and they not once like made me feel like they wouldn't like get out my house and everything. Like,
dude, and that's
that
huge.
was a blessing.
Huge, yeah. Because you and I both know people that's happened to them.
Exactly. So
I'm talking about people that you rub shoulders with on a daily basis.
Trust me.
Yeah. When you hear their stories.
So I think that was like the probably one of the biggest turning points of my life was gaining, like understanding that and realizing that yes, you have a passion, but at the same time you're an adult and you have to take responsibility for your actions. So now I've actually kind of stepped off the gas with the dancing. Like yes, I'm still heavy in it, kind of, but not as much as I once was because now I'm trying to get more into outside business ventures. Business was always something that when I first got out of college, I was looking at, but I was so blinded by the dancing that I really didn't care about it. But now I'm like stepping into other business things. So
cool.
That's most of my days is
building this. So I'm gonna ask you, like I said, you do not have to answer it. What is your current situation right now, financially? I know, of course, the debt is there. We know that. You know?
Financially,
but
it's like rough. Yeah. So financially, I'm.
Like, are you living still with your parents?
Yeah.
Are you living on your own, or
living with my parents?
Yeah.
Completely living with my parents. So I give them the money per month for the loans.
That's good though. That's good because like, you didn't even have that before, but now you can actually you're making money to give them for the loans.
And that's again, it's still rough because of that reluctancy to get a job. So it's that reluctancy plus the pressure from them that's motivating me and pushing me every day to make sure I keep myself accountable for the work that I do to build whatever I need to build up. So
I promise you, like in time, you're gonna look back at this. And this is going to be part of your origin story. I mean, you're telling it to me right now, but like this tough time where now I make my living from dancing. Yeah. And you're rubbing shoulders with some folks who are doing that. And you're going to rub shoulders with them. And but I know that you know as well that dancing is not the only way they make their money.
Yeah.
And, you know that. You know that. And like I said, you're around. Like, I do not know the financial situations of everybody. The one person who I do know, because I've had him on here, I spoke with him before, was various people, but I know that Wendell, he makes his King Kayak, he makes his finance, he makes his life, through dancing. Corey, you see him teaching all the time. I know Bling, he's like a EMT. Yeah, he's an EMT, so he does have a job, you know what I'm saying? And then he does the dancing on the side. So you're gonna get there. I mean, you're a Scorpio, you're so driven, it's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? So I 100% feel it in my bones. I blow and smoke, you're gonna get there. You're just so consistent. And like I said, you are around people who are doing it already. Because like you said, with the chemical engineer, you're not around anybody, like there's nobody to model. But like you're around people to model that, and I'm sure, you're rubbing shoulders with them. They're giving you some inside baseball. Do this, do this, do this, do this.
It's kind of different though, because the ones that are, some of them are in different genres, and then the other people, it's like they don't only do like dancehall, like they're doing something else on the side. So for me, I haven't found like anybody like really specifically for my situation, and
I think that's pure dancehall kind of thing.
Yeah, and because this genre is such a hard genre to monetize off of, it's who you know. It's like that's why I go tour so much. People are like, oh, you're here. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm doing this because I need the money. Like, not because it's fun. Or yes, it's fun, but it's money first. Why I do it so much. So a lot of people don't even realize that. But.
And let me ask you this: like, when you're not dancing, what is it that you like to do for fun? Like when you're not dancing.
For fun.
Yeah, just like what is it that you like?
Basketball. I'm a heavy basketball fan.
Cool.
Yeah. I used to play in high school, so sports. And I'd say just like just gaining common knowledge. Like I've so some guys that I went to school with, they actually dropped out of college, and they were the first to kind of like spark my business interest, because they had dropped out, and I linked back up with them like a year after, and they were making like 6 figures, bro.
Whoa!
And I was like, whoa, what the hell's going on? They were kind of like showing me like a whole business model that it's not like most people don't really know about it, because it's like a business model of the 21st century. So it's not like your regular brick and mortar. It's more online based, all this stuff. So I'm always like a technical. I was always a computer guy. I was big with computers when I was younger. So.
That's the future. Still, even with the apps and everything.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea, bro.
Yeah.
So it was clicking with me. It was making sense. I was like, damn, So they kind of showed me like money literacy and financial literacy, and started opening my eyes to like the bigger picture of life, and started making me feel better knowing that it's not what you do in life, and it's not how much money you make, but what you actually do with the money. And they started showing me so many different scenarios, like a guy who was at UPS, he made no more than 30,000 at UPS for a year, every year. And he had invested in UPS stock and some other stuff. By the time he died, he was worth almost, I think it was $10 million.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, $10 million.
That's over a period of time, though. It wasn't like overnight, but that's like...
Yeah, but think about it. For somebody only making 30 grand their entire life, and you leave with $10 million,
yeah.
And he was able to fully retire and stuff like that. And it kind of just opened up my eyes and really made me see that a lot of the people who preach college, and just the people who you try to take advice from, is like a lot of them have no retirement plan. It's like it's a scary thing to think about. So it's like when they're telling you, oh, get this job, it's like, yeah, you get this job, and then what? Those same people that are working, they stay working until they're like 80, 90.
This is brutal, yeah.
So they're like, the goal shouldn't be like to work. The goal should be do your passion, but then learn the money secrets and the money skills that the higher people and those who are retired know. So now you're not working forever, So that should be the goal of life. So it's stuff like that I do in my free time.
Good,
learning
dude.
more about like just investments and more business opportunities. So it's fun.
That's really good. You're young, so once the regular money starts happening, it doesn't take a lot to invest. Like you could, literally, somebody put me onto this, much later. But through the Cash App, you can buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin is I mean, you can buy
foreign
like,
exchange is a crazy
you know what I
market
mean?
right now, man.
Investing $20 per week into a TD Ameritrade account, you can go ahead and start buying stocks super easy. Like buy Disney stock, buy Netflix stock, buy you use paper bouncy in the house. What company is paper bouncy? I'll buy that stock, and then just let that float 10, 20 years. Let that build, and then you can start feeding off of that.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of different ways, but it's good that you're thinking about that at 24. Because like I said, myself, I throw myself in that. Like people don't think about that because it's partying and having a good time. And
that's the bad thing about here is that it's a system, you know, and you start to realize that it's like they push school in your face so much that once you focus so much on school, you get in school. Once you get out of school, the next thing is job. Nobody tells you
your battery, basically. Like
exactly.
You just your battery you put into the cog and you work until you fizz out.
You feed them, you feed the system, you keep it going, but you don't feed yourself to make sure at the end of the day you can get out the system and stop working. So, you know, you're blinded, and the ones who really are able to retire at a good age, they start saving from their 20, 21, 22, you know, so.
Yeah, because they can retire at 50. They don't have to retire at 70, 80.
And most people, plus, they don't even retire. It's a crazy
They die, some die at work.
They die working.
Yeah.
A lot of them die working.
Dude, in my job, I've had a few people that have died at work or ended up getting a stroke at work, and they jacked up. They can't come back to work. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. And you know, like the thing with pension, like pension is something that's becoming outdated.
Or Social Security. We don't know, like, by the time you get your retirement age for you or for me, that's even going to be a thing.
People, they 401k, they like throwing 401k in everybody's faces, and majority of people don't even know what the hell 401k is, you know, but they just hear benefits. It's like, yeah, you know, so they use all these different schemes to keep you within the system. So just paint the illusion that you're okay. But when you actually do the math for yourself, you're not, you know, so.
If you got like a trade job, would you be adverse to that? Like, would that still take away too many hours from the dancing? I'm talking about a trade job, man. Like,
trade job?
Like a union job, like something that you have benefits, something that, you have a very decent pay and you're doing work. It may be a little bit mind-numbing, but just something that benefits-wise and money-wise, like since you could pay off your debt and you can afford to live on your own, if that's what you want. I mean, if you can stay at home too, that's totally cool. But are you adverse to that, or are you like that still would take too many hours away?
It wouldn't take too many hours away. I wouldn't be adverse to it. It's just where my mind wouldn't let me do a job. My mind physically wouldn't let me do a job because I'm too business oriented mentally.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to stay there mentally. There's nothing wrong with it. It wouldn't just be for me.
I hear that, yeah. You're talking about college. This is someone that I follow that I've quoted many times in this podcast. His name is James Altucher, and he's a real humongous proponent that in today's current economy that you don't have to go to college. That depending on what you know, you can go ahead and skip college. I mean, but you do have to like find somewhere to have resources to build something on the side that could be profitable, that could make some money.
With the internet, the internet literally is the game changer. You literally can take anything that you know, make some content, gain a following, and monetize off of it. There's so much rag to riches stories. There's literally so much people that drop out of college, never finish college, and is probably making more than your mother, my mother, ever would be making from a job, you know. And
I mean, those are the best case scenarios. Those are the best case scenarios, of course. Right?
Again, it's not about the amount of money you make. You know, we as a society, we place like, if you're not making this amount, you're nothing. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Sure. You know, it's what you do with that money. So now, in the future, and exactly, you know. So the focus should just be, for me, like I tell people, find your passion. If you want to go to school, let the school supplement the passion so you're seeing that real life connection. But then work, stay happy, live within a means that's reasonable within your income. If you want more income, learn some type of business that can get you more if you want a bigger lifestyle. Absolutely. If you can be competent with your lifestyle, invest your money, learn how to get retired, you know, and life is good.
They say, I heard someone say one time like that if you're making this figure, like 9 times out of 10, like you pretty much got all your needs met. I think it's like 85,000 or 75,000. Like if you're making that much per year, and so your debt is not crazy or nothing like that, then you can actually I have everything that I want for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to make like this humongous. I mean, everybody's different, of course, but I find that fascinating. You know what I mean?
The funny thing is, most of the time these people aren't happy. You know, like the ones that are making this crazy money, majority of them aren't even happy. I met this civil engineer one time when I went to like a business conference a couple years ago, and this guy was making like $350,000 a year.
Yeah, when poor folks like us here, they'd be like, "What? Are you crazy?
Build some of
you
the
should have
biggest
everything."
buildings in Las Vegas, like some of the biggest buildings, and you have this guy who's making $350,000 a year, and he's like, he knows at the end of the day that if he stops working, that paycheck stops coming in. So he's here to build an asset that can pay him in the future. And I'm like, if that guy's making $350 and is doing that, what the hell are people like us not? You know, so.
You know what it is, my bro? It's
the system.
It is, but I'm telling you, a lot of times where success comes in is to be around the people who are doing it.
Exactly.
Because if we're not, like, if you just kind of see them, like, static, like, if you're around them, like, they can, like, be like, okay, I did X, Y, Z. Like, you went from one place and you super leveled up because of the people that you're around. Now imagine if you're around, like, entrepreneurs who are, like, making, like you said, like your friends. Like, look, hang out around me, come with me, just be around me, and, like, be kind of like an intern almost, but you're going to see how I made this happen. And then you kind of, like, grow from there. But
it's a system, bro. They keep all of us in one place. The people who know who have all the money.
Honestly, I don't like to like blame a particular thing. Like you said before, you said a key thing. Like, we're responsible. So, you know what? Like, let me do something. You know, let me not blame something. Let me not blame something that's bigger than me. I'm responsible. Let me take responsibility and let me do something. Because you did that, and look where you are. Dancing-wise, level-wise, you, like I said, are one of the most amazing right now, dancing-wise. Because of all that time, that even the stuff from your parents and everything, even that never stopped you. You continued.
But I say that I'm privileged with my mindset because it came from somewhere. You know, like
you knew somebody.
Yeah, and I also had a certain upbringing and just how I was innately within myself because of how I was grown. It's like I had a certain advantage that played into me being able to take this responsibility. Like for me, like I said, I blame it on the system because honestly, they put things around us. Like it comes from dieting, like of the food that we have.
Look at the John's Fried Chicken in the neighborhood. That's crap. That's terrible.
It's so
and
crazy.
It's funny, like the food, like it really just your whole outlook changes because of what you put inside your belly.
So,
don't get me even started with the food.
You get what I'm saying, though. So that's why I say that's what it is. Because honestly, I think that just the environment that you foster plays into all of that. You know, like you're in a place and you're in an environment where you have to work 15, 16 hours a day. So your mind mentally doesn't even get time to sit down and think about all this stuff, you know?
Or even to reflect.
The neighbor next to you doesn't know this either, you know? Like everything, you have to literally step out. And most people don't have the money to step out, you know? So a lot of people stay in that system and die in that. And it's sad. You know, and
I mean, thankfully,
the powers that be know this stuff. They know it.
Thankfully, we have things like podcasts and books and YouTube, and you know, it'll open up. You know, it opens up different things that we can go ahead and trust me. Like honestly, I'm actually legit. I'm actually in the process of writing a book right now, like on how podcasts, YouTube, books have changed my life, and like what things that I learned from those things that. Like, you know, my coworkers, sometimes they look at me like I have two heads, but I tell them, like, I do X, Y, Z because I know that they're good for me. Like, I fast, or like, I read every day because that's exercise for my mind, and you know what I'm saying?
Personal development, bro.
Absolutely.
It's personal development.
Absolutely.
I do the same thing every morning.
That's good, dude. That's
I
really
said
good.
I now have a routine, 8 a.m. every morning. I get up, I take a shower, I get out, I have breakfast, and as I'm having breakfast, I'm watching like a Gary Vee or Tony Robbins.
Awesome, man. I love that.
Mental,
that's really good, yeah. So, remember, like, we took like a whole, look at that. This alone could be its own podcast, that part right there. Getting back to the dancing, and getting back to you, I mean, this is all about you. That's what we're here for you, you know? you'd find, and I think you could really speak to this because of the circles that you run in. You get more traction as a crew or as a solo person? Like in terms of traction in the sense of like popularity or like views or like bookings.
Crew.
Yeah, and it looks better when it's a crew. When it's like three guys dancing, doing the same motion, it's like wow. As opposed to one dude. Yeah.
Definitely.
What's your opinion on that?
Oh, definitely for me it's crew.
Again, for you it's like often been crew. Like you haven't very seldom like kind of been on your own. Like always like crew.
And but there's trade-offs. So with crews, then it comes the bookings. The amount per booking that you get is less because
I think
being feasible.
You're in.
So the amount of income that you can get or money you can get per bookings, what you would get as a solo person doing it. If you get it with a team, the amount that you share is But for me and for my team, it's like we know that that's a risk and that's a trade-off, but dancing is spiritual for me. So the energy that I share with these guys and what I'm able to build spiritually and just the business that I'm able to build with them and the energy that I share, I can accept that, so.
Because you're all like, all the boats are like, the tide is going up and all the boats are going up, yeah.
And we're all individually building dreams outside of just dance that we love as well, so everything that we just spoke about is stuff I speak with them, so.
That's dope.
It's a true brother.
And they're younger, they're the same age.
Prince is 2 years older than me, Andy is 3 years older than me.
But that doesn't mean that they can't learn from you, of course, like life lessons. How do you feel? And Wendell, he was on the podcast before, and he said that I want to hear what you have to say. You let me know when we have a few minutes left, my bro. What do you feel about like taking dance classes all the time? Like sometimes I feel like I'm gonna lose my own dance voice if I'm like looking like everybody else. But so I'm more of a mind of like take one dance class a month and just take time and practice with your own stuff, digest that. But what do you say to someone who takes classes all the time? Like I say, for me, it's like, you're going to lose your dance voice. But Wendell told me, like, no, you're just learning like a better dance vocabulary for your body.
Exactly.
What do you think?
It's exactly that. Like I preach in class that the only time you dance is when you're in the class. The only time you get better is when you're in the class. So.
Really? Because I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Dancing, but I say that because unless you're dancing outside of class, which most people don't.
That's true.
So that's why I do tell them, like, if you're not dancing outside of class, then you might have to spend. That's why you have people that spend money and take 6-7 dance classes a week because they haven't built, I guess, that love or just that system within themselves to dance outside.
Or like to practice on your own, like to find like your own. So you do say, it's good to take a lot of classes.
Find your balance. Find what works for you. So
Absolutely.
If you're more of an instructional type of person where you need instruction, you need to see something, you need to be around that environment, because for people sometimes it's much more than a class. Like it's much more than steps. It's the energy of the class itself. Like for us, parties is what detoxes our minds. For them, it's classes. They don't get the same vibe. But you dancing by yourself and you going to a party is two different vibes.
It is. But I feel like I've learned a lot more in parties than I have in classes.
But it's the same thing for them.
Yeah.
It's for them, again, it may not be the learning so much, but the vibe. So what they can do it by themselves when they're in a class, it's something different. Just like for us in parties. So just find your balance. Everybody's different. Every individual is different, so just find your balance.
And I'm sure that you guys have fans that you see repeatedly in every class because they like your guys' vibe, which is great. Like I said, those are the people they'll do testimonials on you guys. They'll be like, the class is great, and they'll be the biggest cheerleaders for you guys. Is those super fans that are every single time, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? That's a good look, definitely. Let's see here. Now, I saw. If you need to take some time, my bro, you let me know. Like, you recently signed up with Dancer Agency. What is that, and why would you sign up with an agency?
So, for signing up, they actually just managed any tours that I was going to do.
Okay.
Because after doing a couple of them, you start to realize that you can do it yourself, like easily, but I don't live over there, so there's certain contacts that I don't have.
Oh, and they're based in Europe? Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's made from here, but he has contact, like the people the actual tour managers, they all live over there. So they have more contacts than you. So in reality, no matter, like, your name will get you contacts, will get you bookings, but there's always that who you know aspect. So it's less hassle. I don't have to worry about managing my day-to-day stuff, talking to people, telling them all this shit. So which
is great. Like you, from this, like I said, the Instagram feed, places you've traveled to Rome, to Romania, to Portugal, and you also have an upcoming trip to Europe as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking about canceling though.
Wow. Okay. Really?
Because
I mean, if you don't want to speak on it, or
we just spoke about it. It's still me trying to build something here. That whole business thing. I think like I've done enough of that. I'm stepping into a different part of my life now. So.
Wow, this is breaking right now. This is breaking news right now with you, yeah.
It's just being honest with yourself, It's always keeping that honesty with yourself. So.
But I mean, you want to continue to dance, but you want to put some energy into something else now.
And I just want to use that, so when I build something, it's like, all right, I don't have to worry about the whole loans or whatever, and then the money I make from that, I can push into my dancing more, because I'm never gonna stop. It's just creating that other thing, so I don't have to worry sometimes if this is a rough month or something like that.
I noticed that you did start another Instagram profile, like where you put your own name, and also is this thing regarding that business?
Yeah. So what I'm actually getting now, I'm getting coaching. So I've invested.
You're coaching, or you're getting coached?
I'm getting coached, right?
Awesome.
I've kind of put it on park, but I'm really learning like online stuff, like heavy. So
that's exciting.
Even like how I view Instagram and like how I'm seeing things now is totally different. Like, there's so much shit that we don't know that happens with all of these platforms.
Like algorithms, like the thing that like follows you from place to place.
Yo, you literally go on Instagram, and if you look up, like you'll go and say you look up like a laptop place. Go on your stories and see how much laptops or how much laptops.
It's incredible.
Crazy.
I forget the name of it. It's like what is it called again? It's like a bit or something. There's a word for it, but basically it follows you. Like that's like when you see the Google ads, and like you said, like these ads on Instagram stories. Like, why am I getting this? I was thinking about it, and I was like popping up or something. You know what I mean?
And that's why like these social platforms are so profitable for the people who make them, because you have companies that will pay them for this type of information. So Facebook and stuff like that, people don't realize that because we're putting our lives there, we're putting our behaviors.
Everything, yeah.
So that's
and the behaviors is what the money's.
That's what these companies want. They want to see what we do, what we like. So they pay Facebook for all this information, So that's why like all these platforms, they're free, but somebody else is paying for them on the other end.
100%. And why are they investing so many resources into it? It's like you're building an email list from everybody that comes to the class, and to somebody else who's just starting up. That email list is like profitable because they're spending money already. So let me pay you $100. Give me your emails, and then I can. And then yeah. That's impressive, dude. That's impressive. And we're gonna be wrapping it up. You've been so generous with your time. We've almost been talking for an hour now. What advice do you have for dancers who are looking at you and they're like, I want to be like him? Like young dancers or even old dancers, and they look at you and be like, like it's true they don't like, they're gonna know more of your story now from what you're telling me, but still, you have had success because like your skill level is so through the roof, and like people look at you like, my God, he's so sharp. I want to be like him. I want to dance like him. I want to tour. Like, what advice, or like you could combine this with everything that you know now at 24. If you could go back 5 years, like what advice would your 24-year-old self tell your 19-year-old self if you went back 5 years? And I guess combine that with advice for younger or like up-and-coming dancers.
First thing, don't get into debt.
Don't get into debt, okay.
Anything that you want to do in life, if you have to get into debt for it, don't get into debt.
I do understand.
Because when you're young, you may think like you want to do something, but you actually don't know what you want to do. Like, you don't know what life holds for you. Your interests, your passions change sometimes, But if you're in debt, it makes it hard to move in life, So definitely don't get in debt. And just always being honest with yourself in whatever period of your life that you're in. You know, like.
What do you mean by that? I know what you mean by that. I want you to spell
asking
it out.
yourself why you're doing it, what's it for, what's the deeper purpose behind it, and is it something that, you know, like if money wasn't involved, would you do it?
You got some rest?
You know?
You was knocked out.
That's great advice. That's great advice. You know, and I wanted to say this and tell me what you think. Like in terms of getting into debt, I would even say at a young age, don't have kids. Don't have kids at a young age because that can really, I mean, if you have kids, have them later. But if you can avoid having kids, it really puts a hole. Like, and if you're talking about like working 15, 16 hours, like now you're forced to work at 50, as guys, we're forced to work at 15, 16 hours just to go ahead and support this. You know what I'm saying? So
your dreams go on hold.
Yeah. So I would say to piggyback on your point, to not have kids at a young age if you can avoid that. Like just have them later when you're a little bit more steady. The thing is funny. Like I'm super. Like I've been really like just looking into this kind of material. Like as men, we want women that are like firm and tight, young. Women, they want a man with resources. So a lot of times women are not going to go for younger guys unless like they haven't given them crazy sex or they're already like young and have a bunch of resources. But we see these repeated examples like Justin Bieber, somebody like so young, have the world in their hand, and then just go bonkers. You know what I'm saying? So the thing with men, that as we get older, I'm talking about like in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you're more attractive because you're set. So it's kind of like a little bit easier sometimes if you keep yourself in shape and you're doing well for yourself to pull somebody that's younger, because like I said, men want fertile, they want youth, they want tight, because that's the negative thing with women is like as they get older, they're just not as attractive anymore. You know what I'm saying? So where was I going with this? I forgot where I was going with this, but yeah. So what I'm saying is like, you don't have to have kids when you're younger. You can have kids when you're a lot older because you're more established, you're more set, and you want to have a tight little piece. You can have a tight little piece too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But my bro, you have been super generous with your time, and please give your contact details if somebody wants to reach you. If they hear this and like they want to talk to you, like how can somebody contact you?
Instagram, Pyrotech _Unruly. My team page, Pyro_Techs.
And I will leave links to that in the show notes for this episode. And is there anything else that you wanted to add before we finish up?
Just be happy.
Good.
Happiness is the key. Happiness should be the goal for everybody. So it's not about money. It's not how much money you make. It's happiness.
Absolutely. And I think, like I said, what I told you during the interview, like I really think that what we talked about, I think, and I say this to all the dancers, when they're honest and they tell their story, it is going to inspire folks. Like I said, they're not going to feel alone. They're going to feel like this person I look up to, they're going through something as well. So that's great. That's great, dude. Thank you so much for like being so generous with your time, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you gave me an hour, so I wasn't even expecting an hour, But that's it. This is the Improve and Have Fun podcast, and we out.